Hi guys and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, Thornhill Trojans player could be set for a massive ban. Has Nelson Asofa Solomona's COVID saga ended? And I do my roundup of the Betfred Championship. So we begin today with the fixtures and the results from the Betfred Championship, where 6 of the 7 fixtures were played on Sunday, with the 7th game between Featherstone and Leigh Centurions being held on Premier Sport at Monday night, 7:45 kickoff. Now, let's have a look at the results. Bradford were the hosts against Sheffield Eagles, and Bradford became Sheffield Eagles' first win of the season, as Sheffield won 28 points to 14. It was 6-all at half-time, while Gill and Patton were the point scorers for Bradford Bulls. Patton won the conversion, and Johnson scored a try with Farrell kicking the conversion in the first half. It was Evans for Bradford Bulls and Patton kicking a penalty and another conversion, while Alafihi, Oakes and Thackeray all scored for the Sheffield Eagles. There was 3 more conversions and 2 penalties by Farrell to complete the scoring in this good win for Sheffield. Halifax Panthers took London Broncos to task with a 28 points to 0 victory at Halifax's home stadium, the MBI Shea. Tries from Kavanagh, Ashton, Garside, Barber and Moore set the Halifax Panthers on their path, with Keys kicking 4 conversions. Newcastle Thunder lost 14 points to 32 to the Batley Bulldogs in a game that saw Batley win throughout the first half and the second half. Tries for Johnson, O'Neill, Gallagher and a Woods conversion for Newcastle Thunder, while Campbell was the star of the match with a hat-trick of tries, followed with Hooley, Morton and Key getting a try apiece. Gilmore kicked 4 goals. Whitehaven played Barrow, and Barrow came out 18 points to 0 victors in this hard-fought battle, to be honest. Holiday scored the only points for Whitehaven with his try, while Toole, Shaw and Maludi scored for Barrow Raiders. In the end, it was Shaw's day, as he finished with 10 points for the Barrow Raiders and gave them a 100% record. Widnes are now the pace setters in the league after 2 games, winning 70 points to 18 at home against Workington. A hat-trick from Lawton and 2 tries apiece from Wild and Craven saw the Vikings set a space for the championship. Holroyd, Davis, Bozzard, Fleming and Dupree all got on the scoreboard as well with a try apiece, while Edge kicked 11 goals. Fitzsimmons, Barnes and Brown scored for Workington, while Forber and Thomas kicked 2 and 1 conversion apiece. And finally, for today's scoring, York City Knights won 30 points to 2, rebounding off their defeat against Featherstone in the opening week. A try from Marsh and a goal from Ellis gave York Knights a 6 points to 2 lead in the first half, where Berrall scored the 2 points for Dewsbury, but then York never looked back, as Ellis scored a try, Davis, O'Hagan and Clarkson and 4 more conversions from Ellis set York onto their first win of the season. And after 2 rounds, here is how the table looks. Widnes lead the way with 102 points for in their 2 games, while Batley Bulldogs and Barrow Raiders come as close second and third. Leigh and Featherstone are yet to face each other this weekend, so their result on Monday night could determine either top or the first one of the top 2 favourites to blink. Bradford Bulls got off the mark in the first week, but were sent down to earth by Sheffield Eagles. Halifax Panthers got on the winning track with the victory this weekend, and then comes York City Knights with their first victory of the season. And here's a quick reminder of the Betfred Championship Monday Night Rugby League. Featherstone face Leeds Centurions on Premier Sports 1 live from 7:15, with a match kicking off at 8 o'clock, not 7:45. So one of the longest running sagas of this pre-season has been to do with Melbourne Storm forward Nelson Asofa Solomona and his status with the COVID-19 vaccine. But he seems to have returned to training, putting pay to any speculation for now over his COVID vaccine status. NAS returned to training for the first time on Thursday and spoke about how committed he was to the club this year, declaring, "I know we've got something special." The towering prop met Craig Bellamy and football manager Frank Ponisi late on Wednesday and told them he was committed to the club. He relayed the same message to the players, who had no idea that he was about to resume training. NAS is believed to be one of the few NRL players not to be vaccinated against the COVID-19 vaccine virus, and Victorian government health orders prevented him from training or playing with the club. However, Storm Chief Executive Justin Rodsky and Asofa Solomona said he had since provided all the necessary information and certification to comply with the requirements of the Victorian and Queensland governments to allow him to return to train and play in the NRL. The federal government has allowed for vaccines to be deferred for up to 4 months once someone has contracted COVID-19. The recommendation comes from the government-run Australian Technical Advisory Group on Immunisation. What happens in 4 to 6 months when the period lapses remains to be seen. Members of the NRL Medical Advisory Panel, Project Apollo, and Storm Dr. Jason Chan had been in regular contact about Asofa Solomona. Once he was allowed to return to training, Bellamy and Ponisi still had to be convinced why he should be welcomed back after 2 months of exile. There were reports that Asofa Solomona was about to pursue a cashed-up rugby deal if he continued to be frozen out of the NRL because of his refusal to be vaccinated. He will be pushed hard to be eligible for selection in round 1 when the Storm takes on the West Tigers on March the 12th. "It's great to have Nelson back at the club and back with his teammates," Rodsky said. "It's been a slightly interrupted build-up for Nelson, but importantly, he has been completing his own individual training program over the last few months away from the club. He has returned to training in good shape, and we are confident he will be ready for selection ahead of round 1 of the season." Asofa Solomona, who popped up in a video at training posted by teammate Brandon Smith on social media, said he had been training by himself while stood down, which had been challenging, and there had been a good conversation with Bellamy and Ponisi on Wednesday. He has endured a few tough months personally, and he said, "I was nervous to come back, but really happy to be back with the boys. I was more nervous about what I was in for, and I knew the Storm wouldn't take it easy on me. They've put me through my paces straight away. I'm stoked to be back. I'm 100% on board this year, and I know we've got something special this year. I feel like I'm ready. It's up to Bellamy, and we'll see what he says. I'm keen to play. it was awesome to see the boys. There were a few kisses on the cheek. I'm keen to give it a good shot this year. In this entire story, it is foolish to say that NES was totally to blame for the whole situation, as he had his beliefs. The one thing that could have stopped it all from happening was if the NRL had actually took charge of the situation. But the NRL had refused to mandate vaccines and allowed each club to follow public health orders in their respective states, rather than having sweeping rules about the vaccine. It would have took everything out of the club's hands. They would have been the ones that would be responsible for paying, but no, they wanted to be on the players' side. The NRL's still going to be there after players retire for one reason or another, or move to the Super League. Why were they still so inept in doing anything? We'll have to wait and see to find out why. So the disciplinary panel for the RFL met this weekend in our final story today. This week, not weekend. And one of the subjects that was brought to the attention was Thornhill Trojans player doing a, let's say, unnecessary tackle to try and stop Doncaster player Connor Robinson. In a now deleted social media post, it appeared that Thornhill Trojans Jake Wilson has been referred to the tribunal for 2 grade F other contrary behaviour and grade D intentional stands on charge following their cup final defeat to Doncaster. And the video posted on social media earlier this week showed an unpunished tackle on Connor Robinson, where Wilson appeared to lunge 2-footed on the halfback as the halfback stood in the tackle. It's a game that normally would have went under the radar because it was a regulation win for the League One side against their lower league opposition. But Robinson, who came through the ranks at Hull KR and had previously represented York City Knights and Halifax, has taken to Twitter to highlight what appeared to be a piece of serious foul play. The clip shows Robinson being tackled, as I mentioned, close to the Trojan line, and one of the defenders taking a bizarre approach to bringing the halfback to the ground. I'm all for playing a contact sport, but have a day off. Not even a penalty, just casually trying to break my leg, Robinson tweeted alongside the video. The video has incensed the rugby community, and a host of players and personalities have responded to it on social media with their thoughts, with the likes of Peter Matautia, Jack Sanderson, Ethan Ryan, Mikey Lewis, Thomas Mins, Matt Treems, Callum Turner, Chris Riley, Omar Carroll, Rowan Milnes, George Lawler, all coming to the defence of Robinson because it was a tackle that shocked everyone. There is a possibility that the Trojans player Wilson could be banned for up to 19 games with these 3 charges against his name. But if the referee has not picked it up and none of the videos and it's not been reported or anything like that, it does smack of a little bit of a trial by Twitter, which I'm sorry about, but you cannot go about injuring players or doing daft tackles to try and injure players. From his social media, he seems like a young lad as well, so hopefully he does what every rugby league player, when they get told off for doing something wrong, they learn from it and they'll come back stronger, and there will be apologies in the works, I'm sure. from the young lad to Robinson. Hopefully the game can just move on from it. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also click that notification bell for any further episodes that will be coming up in the next few days. Tell me what your thoughts are of this weekend's fixtures, and if you got down to a game, or any games that you saw, whether it's the Puerto Rico international match against Roots in Florida, the Macedonia versus Malta game in Australia, or any of the Betfred Championship games. Does your team look well on the way to being the success this season? Or do you think that there's a level that you're only going to reach with the team that you have? But in the meantime, tell me in the comments below, and keep them all civil, will you? You're doing that already, so thank you so much for doing so. Thank you for tuning in once again. Now, I'm going to end the show by saying thank you for watching. Please stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.